everyone. Welcome back to Let's Talk Physical Media. My name is John.
I guess we're ready, and my name is Matt.
Yeah, you keep going through all your stuff while I introduce it. And this is the show that we do every single week where me and Matt just sit around, we talk everything's physical media and anything to do with physical media, and we just like to sit around and just talk shit with each other for about an hour. And that's exactly what we're going to do here today. And if you like these kind of shows, nothing helps us out more than by you liking this video, subscribing to the channel, subscribing to us on all podcast services, and then giving us a 5-star rating.
Correct.
And it was a very busy week, actually, as far as news goes.
Very busy.
And actually, the first story we're going to dive right into actually has nothing to do really in the world of physical media, but kind of physical media adjacent. And that is, I don't know if you heard about this, and that is AMC increasing their prices for premium tickets.
Douches.
Yes, I did a quick short on this, but I want to dive a little bit more into this because me and Matt have two very different movie theater philosophies, and this is probably going to hurt him more than it would hurt me. Because AMC has a thing called AMC Stubs A-List. If you pay a certain amount of money each month, you can see 3 movies a week in all their prime theaters, so it doesn't affect you if you want to see it in Dolby Cinemas or if you want to see it in IMAX. But for regular people who go to the movies only like once or twice a month, this is where it's going to hurt them. Because now they're charging more money to sit in the middle of the theater or higher up. Or then there's the regular general seats, which price changes won't change, and those like to the left and right. But then if you want to sit up front, it's going to be $1 or $2 less for the people who are...
The shitty ones.
The real...
Up like that, yeah.
I saw a funny meme that said that showed somebody like... the light just shining in their face, me trying to save $2 at the theater, and you're just sitting there like, because that's all you got. And I don't know, that's just a horrible business practice. Right now, movies are finally coming back. They're the president of AMC has been preaching like, oh, we made so much money, they chalked us up for dead and everything like that.
And this is going to be the final nail in the coffin, in my opinion, because people like me and normal people who don't go to the theater much, and normal people who do not have a subscription or membership to a movie theater, because that is a little crazy, I think. I enjoy seeing movies, but I would never pay a subscription for it. There's not enough movies that come out that justify the price for me. John likes to go once or twice a week, which, that's not my cup of tea. I go for big event stuff, some Marvel stuff. I think the next theater going for me might be like the new Fast and Furious, Fast X.
Actually, no, March 10th, we're going to see Scream.
Oh, Scream, yeah. So Scream's going to be the next big one for me.
And I wouldn't be surprised because also, not only do they charge, are they going to be starting with the next...
And they upcharge for the good stuff.
For the good movies, yep. They started that with the Batman last year. So now, let's just say they start this out in the summer and the new Flash movie's coming out. Now you're going to be paying a premium to see Flash, and if you want to sit in the middle of the theater, now you're paying more for that, and forget it. If you want to go to Dolby... $20-something a ticket for one movie.
Yeah.
And then forget it if you want popcorn and soda and everything like that. Might as well just sign the deed over to your house and give it to the guy at the front desk. Because
you're better off just waiting for the 4K to come out. Now is the time, and especially February. Upgrade your TV, invest in your TV, invest in your home theater. Sonos stuff is on sale right now. If you've been kicking around the idea of Sonos, which I highly recommend, if you're not in the position to do a full receiver setup with Atmos speakers in the ceiling and all that stuff, but you still want a really, really good, arguably amazing experience with a soundbar, look into Sonos, because that's what I have, and I absolutely fucking love my Sonos. It sounds incredible, and you can get $200 off a complete system right now, and that never happens. Sonos is never on sale.
So they know what they have.
So AMC is really trying to keep people out, it seems.
Yeah, they think that this is a good business.
So invest in your home theater and wait for your physical media.
Yep, and like Matt just said, February is the best, mainly because actually the day this comes out, the Super Bowl's on, so I don't know, dive over to any place, I don't know where you guys buy your TVs from, but they're usually on sale this time of the year because A, the new models are coming out in the next couple months and they're trying to dump their stock on their old models. So this is the best time to upgrade your TV, grab a 4K player, and you can watch movies at home. Especially nowadays, movies aren't even in theaters that long. It used to be 90 days they couldn't come to streaming. Now it's about 45, and if it's like something
less, sometimes day up.
Yeah, sometimes day up. If it's an even smaller movie, like I really wanted to watch that movie Skinamarink, and I was in and out of theaters, and now it's on Shudder. I can watch it right now.
Yeah, and if you are planning on streaming, doing a lot of streaming, invest in an Apple TV, because that is the way to stream.
Yep. So really, AMC might want to go this route, but there's other alternatives. You don't have to buy into them. Like Regal also has an all-access thing if you're into that. For us, where we live, AMC is the closest theater.
Even if it wasn't, I'd still only exclusively go there because they're the only ones who have Dolby.
Yes.
So yeah. On top of only going to big event movies, I'll only go to the Dolby Theater because that's the only thing worth it.
Yeah.
I think my home setup is better than a traditional theater setup.
That's 100% true, because I'm waiting for Babylon's 4K to come out next month, because it was a beautiful movie. I saw it on a standard projector at AMC, and it was faded. There was almost the green-blue balance was way off. The color timing was off, and they don't set them up correctly, and I'm not going to spend $17 to go sit in the front row and watch Babylon when the 4K is coming out in a couple weeks, and I can watch it on my TV. It might be a short-term high investment, but for the way theaters are going, I think it's a great long-term investment. So obviously we support physical media, and I'm a huge movie theater guy, like Matt said, and I'm disappointed by the fact that you're trying to suck more money out of people who you're trying to attract.
It's kind of like what Best Buy's doing with their Total Tech membership.
Yeah.
If you're not everyone wants these memberships now.
Yeah, but we all can't afford every membership.
Yeah, it's insane. You got all these streaming services. If you're a gamer, you have PlayStation Plus, you have Xbox Game Pass, you got Nintendo Online. If you play live service games, you're paying monthly for these games. You have all your movie streaming services, which there's so many out there.
Yeah.
Now. And now AMC wants a subscription to their fucking theater. Come on.
Yeah, and like I said, that works for me. But how many people are like me going to the movies every week? For the regular moviegoer, it just makes absolutely no sense. And I don't like to tell people to go spend. You can spend your money wherever you want, but if there's something closer to you that has just as equal quality that you're fine with, I'd say give your money to somebody like that who isn't trying to get more out of you than they really should, because that's horrible business practices, and I really don't support that anti-consumerism way, because these guys, if you ever look up AMC, look at how much the CEO of that company's bonus was, and he could have easily waived his bonus, not his regular salary, just his bonus, and paid for everybody's regular seats. So it's just a scumbag move that I fully don't support.
Yeah, no, it's that's where they're all going, it seems, too.
Yep,
so.
Just trying to get as much out of the people who aren't making a lot of money. It really just screws over the regular working person, and, that's always what they attack first.
Yep.
But anyway, let's dive into a little bit more news. There was one big 4K announced this week from Kino Lorber. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a Stephen King novel from 1980, I believe. Cujo.
Oh, yes.
Did you see that?
Nope.
Oh,
I'm familiar with it, but I don't think I've ever seen it. I've probably seen pieces, but I don't recall sitting down and watching it all the way through.
Oh, okay. My biggest flaw with Cujo is the type of dog that is Cujo.
Why?
It's a Saint Bernard.
Okay.
Now, I've had a Saint Bernard. The friendliest dogs you'll ever meet. Also, they are notorious for being some of the dumbest dogs ever. And my dog, Maggie, you might remember.
Yes.
Saint Bernard, extremely dumb. Extremely dumb.
Right.
Friendliest dog ever, though. So I can't imagine being violent.
Hey,
You never know. But it is a new 4K scan. I'm excited for it. And
I always thought it was the dog from, The Sandlot. They used one of those.
What is that? That's
kind of what Noelle was.
Yeah. I thought it was a King Corso.
No,
actually.
King Corso is...
That's what your friend's dog was, wasn't it?
That's what Gromit was. That was the King Corsos are gray and black.
Okay.
Oh, English Mastiff, I think.
Oh, Bull Mastiff, maybe.
No,
English Mastiff. Okay. All right, that's possible. So that was the big news. And then another big news that we are really into is In Search of Darkness. They have In Search of Darkness Part 3 coming out soon.
Yes.
But we're big fans of them. You can see the posters behind us of In Search of Tomorrow. Well, they announced a new In Search of Darkness.
Yes.
And it's called In Search of Darkness, and it's about the the early 90s weren't considered the best time for horror, so they're diving into 1990 to 1994.
So it looks like they're gearing up for a two-parter.
Yeah, so we'll get 95 to 99.
Because we have 3 full-length 5-hour documentaries of just the 80s.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm excited for that, because the early 90s had some good horror movies. Probably they'll definitely explore The Exorcist 3 and
some of the later Nightmare on Elm Street.
A New Nightmare, which is a big... Everyone loves that one. It's 94. Yeah. This is all before Scream, so I imagine Scream, all the late 90s stuff will be on the second part. So the early 90s, it's considered a dark time for horror. Alien 3's in there. So I'm curious. I'm very excited for that.
I don't mind Alien 3.
I know you don't. You know who hates Alien 3? The director of Alien 3, David Fincher. He said the studio almost made him want to stop making movies.
Wow.
So, and if you guys hear that fan, that's just going off behind us.
That is the heat. That is the heat.
And again, like we say all the time, very cold down here.
Yeah, basement, not insulated, great.
And, here's one thing. So, Warner Brothers has announced a bunch of box sets coming out for their 100th anniversary.
That was this week?
Last week we were talking about them announcing the Maltese Falcon, Cool Hand Luke.
Right, but the big box set thing, that was this week?
Yeah.
It feels like so long ago.
No,
I guess it was Monday, maybe.
Yeah, well, all the news always comes out right after we film Let's Talk, so we're always a week behind, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they announced a bunch of box sets celebrating their 100th anniversary, and I pretty much had all these movies except for a few, and the ones that I want, like Training Day and Cool Hand Luke and stuff like that, that's all coming out this year, and you can buy it individually. So,
right.
But if you don't own these movies and you want to grab these box sets, a lot of those 4Ks are great. So maybe through the year I'll review the ones that I have, like A Clockwork Orange, or Goodfellas is considered one of the worst 4Ks. It would have been nice if they would have done a nice new scan of that, but looks like they're just recycling all their old previously released 4Ks.
They're probably trying to capitalize on like the Columbia Classics.
That's exactly what they're doing. Sony Pictures Classics. Although I gotta say, I'm happy about it because they could, for their 100th anniversary, they easily could have not gone this route.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that they're releasing all these box sets because I'm excited about them.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like a nice new box set.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of new box sets, I got my Underworld. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one because apparently it's out of print. I guess it's very, very hard to find anywhere. The cheapest I was able to find it was $112, and then right after I bought it from that seller, he had one more left that he jacked up to $149.
Because he had one left. That's it.
So I'm pretty excited to have this because I didn't know it existed. I would have bought it when it came out at $65 with my. Well, actually, that's what it is on Best Buy. I think they were 79 or 89 when they first came out.
It's about the same as the Resident Evil set, and that ran for like 100 something.
No, the Resident Evil set I think I paid 69 or 79 for.
And they're Sony, and that's actually.
They're 5 movie box sets.
And these are individually wrapped with. And I got mad at Matt for this because it drives me nuts. He hasn't opened this.
Yeah, why? I'm not 100% ready to watch it, so I'm going to keep it in immaculate, perfect condition, sealed in the box.
But you don't want to look at the nice, individually wrapped with nice slip covers on each one?
I sure do. When I go to watch it, I'll be like, oh, this is very nice. But when you come over and start handling my things, it's protected.
These hands are clean right now, I'll tell you right now. You know, I did take a shower this morning. I wanted to come over smelling fresh as a daisy for you, because I know you make a big deal about that. Also, I fell in the mud this morning.
How?
Well, I was taking Faith to work, and then I came back home, and you know how they're doing work in my house. So to the left is all the garbage lining that.
Okay.
And there was a piece of wood that kind of fell in the walkway. I didn't notice, and I tripped over it. And I don't have much grass in my backyard because my dogs like to run around, and it's in the shade, so it's all muddy right there. So I tripped and fell in the mud. So I had to take a shower. It's a daily thing for me.
It's amazing he's made it this far.
Gotta be honest, I'm a little surprised myself. Didn't expect 30.
But yeah, Dolby Atmos, no Dolby Vision, standard HDR, but they are Sony discs, so I have no reason to believe that these aren't good 4Ks.
Yeah, Sony always does a good job. There's certain people, like certain companies, that even if like they don't have Dolby Vision, like even Criterion has some releases without HDR, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe they nailed it. It's just, if they go in and touch every scene individually with good color timing, it could come out great.
Yeah, I'm very excited to dig into these. I haven't watched Underworld in a really long time, and pretty excited to have that. Especially that I have the Resident Evil box set as well, which is pretty much the same thing, just different movies.
Oh, all right. And for people who might not know this about us, because we've kind of shifted mostly into movies now, but last week we got a question from Anthony Gonzalez that I want to start off this week with, because we didn't answer it last week. But it's a big topic for us. And he asked...
Are we done with news?
Yeah, that's it. There's no news now. But this is kind of news because it's news for us because we've been playing a lot of games. So again, it's a video game question from Anthony Gonzalez. He said, what is your all's favorite video game franchise of all time? My pick would be the Resident Evil games. And you know what?
God damn it.
That would be my pick.
I forgot to grab the.
Yeah.
So I have a gigantic video game collection.
You can see them right there, actually.
Well, that's everything but Xbox, and then Xbox has its own shelf because I'm primarily an Xbox guy.
Yeah, if you ever see Matt's movie wall, he probably has just as much Xbox games from the
if
4
not
consoles.
More, actually, I think there's more. But anyway, so I just did a quick little scan right as John was setting up the camera. Oh yeah, Evil West I just picked up this week. I'm very excited to jump into that. But currently I'm playing Dead Space.
Yes, we both are playing Dead Space.
Yes, we're both playing Dead Space, and I absolutely love this franchise. You know, the third one people say is not the greatest. I don't remember hating it, but I don't remember loving it. I think the first one is still my favorite. Dead Space 2 was very good. I actually just beat this. I'm in New Game Plus right now.
Can you explain to me what that is? I keep hearing about it, and they were talking about it on Kind of Funny Games.
What is?
What's New Game Plus?
You don't know what New Game Plus
Never heard that until Kind of Funny, and you brought that up. And you mentioned it to me, and
There's like over 100 games that have New Game Plus.
Yeah, but what is it? Can you explain it to me?
So when you complete the game, they've also kind of changed. When New Game Plus first came around, it was a little bit different. I've noticed in the future now.
What are you, the Terminator?
So basically, New Game Plus, you beat the game. New Game Plus is you start the game over, but you get to carry over all your stats, inventory, money, credits, everything into the new game.
I feel like it's going to make it way easier. Now, do you get the achievements for beating the game on hard in that if you get on the New Game Plus?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you could beat the game on medium or easy, carry everything over, and then start your New Game Plus on a harder difficulty, and now you already have everything upgraded.
That's why you have the suit you got from Dead Space.
Correct.
And then
but back in the day, I remember New Game Plus, you were only able to do it on the same difficulty that you played the game on. So if you wanted a New Game Plus on hard, you had to beat it on hard, and then you could
Well, that
do it.
seems fair.
That's how it used to be, but now a lot of games, like Gotham Knights was the last New Game Plus I jumped into, and you were able to change difficulties, and same thing with Dead Space. I could jump into... Actually, I don't have Impossible mode unlocked because I played it on medium. You have to beat the game on hard to unlock Impossible. But I'm currently maybe a quarter of the way, not even, doing New Game Plus. I want to get the rest of the nodes, upgrade and everything, clean up my achievements. But I fucking love Dead Space, and they did a fantastic job with this.
This remake is awesome. Now, I wasn't the biggest Dead Space fan. Actually, I owe Matt 360 Dead Space because I lost his when I played it the first time. And
How do you lose a game?
I was moving. I told you that a million times.
Okay.
Something happened.
I moved with 4,000 fucking games and movies. Didn't lose a single one.
I was 18 moving out of my house, so it was a little bit of a different time. So, anyway.
There's no excuse for that.
I lost it, so I remembered the game, but I liked it. And then when I was replaying it this time, I'm in love with it. Like, I love the game. I think they nailed the atmosphere because the original game, the ship itself was like this, I would say, like almost burnt color. It was gray. This time it's dark and it's actually scary. Like if you play this in the dark and like you just got the flashlight from your guns and you're walking around, something jumps out in front of you. Like you kind of would see it coming in the 360 game.
Yes.
Well, this game you don't. It jumps out at you.
Yeah, that's the HDR Dolby Vision that they are able to really play with the shadows and stuff now.
Which leads into my answer for this question. Like I said, the Resident Evil franchise, which wasn't. I
forgot to grab. I have every Resident Evil on every console.
Yeah, you do.
I do love Resident Evil.
Do you even have like all the PlayStation ones, like Code Veronica? You have Code Veronica? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So like when I was growing up, like I was a PlayStation kid. Like I had a PS1. I wasn't into the Resident Evil games at the time. I didn't really get into them until like the GameCube. Oh, 5 was
my first one.
My first one was Resident Evil 0 on the GameCube because they fixed the controls. I had a hard time with the PS1 controls.
I played 0 on Xbox One.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because the old controls on they were tank controls. They were just, it didn't work for me. So when they finally came out on more modern consoles, and then the remakes for Resident Evil 2 and 3, I was on board. I was like, these are my favorite games.
I love the stories in Resident Evil. However, this is a hot take. I don't really like Resident Evil 4.
And you're not excited for the remake in a month, right?
I'm gonna play it.
But I think they're gonna fix all your problems with Resident Evil 4.
The setting. I don't like the setting.
Really? The setting is the best part of Resident Evil 4. That's what drags me back in. I love the setting.
I like Raccoon City.
I get that, and believe me, Resident Evil 2 Remake is probably my favorite Resident Evil game, but Village has a similar setting to Resident Evil 4, and I love Village.
Yeah, but Village was a new story, and there was no fucking escort missions or any of that. I don't like the fucking European Village. I'm not a fan of it.
Wow, I think the setting is the best part, that Gothic Village. I think that's the best part of Resident Evil 4.
It's not a Gothic Village, though.
It's kind of a Gothic Village.
No, it's like a fucking...
The whole town?
It's a backwoods farm fucking...
Well, in the beginning, but then it kind of drifts into like you're in castles and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, Village is obviously taking that and
I would have preferred them remake Resident Evil 1.
I'm surprised they haven't. I really can't believe they skipped. And that's because of the GameCube one that had the remake. They really, I guess they can't remake it again, but I want to see it in the new RE engine.
I would have preferred RE1 or even Code Veronica or something like that.
But what is your favorite franchise? Because I already said mine. I used to be Halo, but honestly, after Halo Reach and what's going on now...
Halo Reach was great.
That was the last Bungie one.
Yeah.
And then once they shifted to 343...
Well, I mean, I can't not say...
Oh, yeah.
I can't not say Gears of War because... You know, I mean, Gears of War is just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I absolutely
And the
love
first
Gears
three
of War.
games are classics.
And yeah, the first three are classics. After that, I'm really starting to lose interest in Gears of War. I have Gears of War 360, Gears of War Xbox One. I have Gears of War all over the place. Gears of War everything. And just after 3, I kind of lost. Judgment was okay. That was the new studio and the different controls.
Coalition?
No, People Can Fly.
People Can Fly. I always get it mixed up.
And then Coalition jumped in for 4 and 5. 4 I grew into, and then 5 I just didn't really like.
I don't like it when they change studios. It seems to always throw off the balance of the games because same thing happened to Halo, but like Splinter Cell, like Ubisoft, like I would have told you Splinter Cell was my favorite too, and then they haven't made a Splinter Cell game in how many years?
Doesn't mean it can't be your favorite.
Yeah, but it's like Metal Gear Solid, like.
So I'm just rapid fire in no particular order.
Okay.
You know, Half-Life, amazing game. I have the orange box. I just grabbed Half-Life 2 because that's probably the best of the bunch. I love that game.
You never played Alice though.
It's VR. The Borderlands franchise, I absolutely love Borderlands. That cel-shaded graphics, the 4-player co-op, just the run and gun and the loot system. Borderlands is just... I love Borderlands. The Arkham Batman games.
These would be high on my list.
These are very, very high on my list. I've replayed Asylum and City so many times, particularly Asylum.
I've beaten Asylum 3 times, and
I probably beat it. If you did it 3, I did it like 6.
Yeah, because when I think I beat the 3, you were banging it out on PC. You were just all over the place.
Version,
PlayStation,
there was
right?
the Game of the Year version on 360 plus the regular one. Then I switched gamer tags, had to redo all 3 of them again.
You might have beat this like 10 times.
Plus the fucking remakes, and I played it on Steam on PC.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum. It's not a long game though.
No, it's really not.
And I think they nailed it.
And I 100% it every time I play it. Like I get all the fucking riddles and everything.
They got it perfect with Arkham Asylum. I love Arkham City, but the problem with Arkham City is that it just took the Riddler trophies, I think, and just went a little too far.
Yeah, I liked the more confined, linear
100%
Asylum.
agree with that. Yeah.
I'm not the biggest open world guy. The original Halo, obviously.
Still my favorite game ever. It's the first Halo.
The original Halo. You know, you cannot go wrong. I got them all. I got the Steelbook Halo 2 and all that stuff, but the original had to be. And I swapped this into a 360 case. It looks like.
It does. It's clear. It's definitely 360.
BioShock.
Yeah, I've only played 1 and 2. I never have played Infinite.
You didn't play Infinite?
No.
You have to play Infinite.
Everyone tells me that.
You have to play
But
Infinite.
I didn't like 2. And
2 is the worst one.
Okay.
2 is easily
they switched
the worst
studios,
one.
right?
Yes.
The 2?
But I believe Infinite went back. In my opinion, it's 1, Infinite, 2.
Okay.
That's my ranking of the BioShock games. But again, BioShock, just incredible.
Show that's coming out too.
Incredible game. And then just another favorite of mine is Fear.
Yeah, you're a big Fear guy.
I absolutely love Fear. This came out around the Gears of War time.
Yeah.
360 was my favorite console. Like, these are remakes of a 360 game. Halo is OG Xbox. Remake, OG Xbox, but
360 remake with
but
the orange
we
box.
had the orange box, and then that was my first introduction to Portal, which was oh my god, Team Fortress 2, Gears of War, Dead Space, again 360 remake. So there's a pattern here. 360 was my absolute favorite generation.
Yeah.
And I have almost I think I have over 400 360 games on my shelf over there.
I feel like that's shooting low.
No, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And then again,
that Xbox shelf. I got to take a picture of this to show you guys, because eventually, Matt, I want him to make a video of him showing off his whole Xbox collection, because it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm a big Xbox guy. I was going for a complete collection of the original Xbox and then the 360, and then I just kind of lost interest.
And they started jacking the prices up.
Yeah, everything went up, and I just kind of stopped collecting once I bought the house. But again, I might jump into it again one day. I don't have the room anymore. That shelf is bursting at the seams, and I just
You only have a few games facing forward. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, there's just not really any room. So that's another reason why I haven't really buying too much physical games anymore.
Yep. So Anthony, I hope we answered your question, because that was a good one. We didn't want to just brush over that last week, so we want to save it for this week. And really, because we are gamers at heart, we still play. We don't talk about it as much, but video games and movies, I'm more of a movie guy, but Matt, he games a lot. Like, I got here today, he was playing Dead Space.
Yeah, I'm more of a single-player gamer now. I was, again, back to the 360 era, because I could talk about this all day. I was big into the multiplayer. Gears of War, I did the Seriously achievement. If you're familiar with that, that was 10,000 kills online multiplayer. And if you remember OG Gears of War, there was no respawns. So they were 20-minute games. You play 19 rounds, 4v4. Once you're dead until the next round. And
that was the way, though.
Me and you
played
fun. So much Gears of War. Rainbow Six Vegas.
I forgot about Vegas.
Vegas is another.
That's a franchise
one.
that kills me, because we got Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2 really quick, and I was like, they're gonna make a franchise out. They just stopped. They've had one game since 2.
Well, we were supposed to get, I think it was Patriot.
Yeah, and they canceled it.
Something like
And then we got Siege.
Yeah, Siege was a huge disappointment.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
It got better, but it's still.
And they're still like updating it, right? Like they
that's still like a current game, which is crazy. Came out in like 2015.
Ubisoft just I don't know. They're a company.
Ubisoft's hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I really like the Division games.
I know you got into them for a while.
Yeah, the Division 2 in particularly was. I put a lot of hours into that.
I love a lot of their open world games. Like, I'm a big Assassin's Creed guy. Big why am I drawing a name?
Far Cry.
Far Cry. I love their open world games. My problem is it's too much. It's just they gotta condense this.
A lot of busy work and collectathon shit, and
you gotta upgrade your character to this point to progress in the story, and the only way and then it's just tedious.
Or I forget. I think it was Far Cry 3. I had me pissed off for a while. I needed to craft an item to do something, so I had to go hunting for material, and it was just such a pain in the ass. I like the linear fucking games that you can't get really too lost. You can't go too far out of bounds. I prefer linear single player stuff now at my age, where that is far and few between. But Dead Space. Come on.
And where Matt and I are going to dive into
Evil West is another one that I'm very excited to jump into.
Yeah, even though Amazon sent this case and it's all fucked up. But anyway, let's dive into our next question from William Thomas. Which 4K movie did you never think was going to come to 4K, but has? Mine is 8 Mile. Never thought we would get this
8
one.
Mile, yeah.
Because there are still hundreds of classic movies.
It's a good 4K. Too.
Yeah. And he said there's hundreds of movies with classic movies with no 4Ks. And I agree with that. Like, me and Matt always talk about the Terminator, no 4K release. But there are some really weird movies, especially horror movies.
They came to 4K?
Yeah.
You know what's one that I find very, very strange? Step Brothers is on 4K.
What the fuck happened? Hey!
Yeah, that is a very strange one. And actually, most like the 21, 22 Jump Streets, those had a very quick turnaround to 4K.
Yeah, just any comedy that comes to 4K is just kind of a surprise to me.
My big one was True Romance. I did not expect that to come to 4K, mainly because the Blu-ray was out of print for a long time.
Red Eye. Red Eye's another good one.
That's one that's coming soon.
Because we were just talking, that's not even on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, hey, you're getting a 4K.
Yeah.
All right.
They do some weird ones. And mainly because the boutique labels will grab some weird movies. Like Death Wish 2 has a Vinegar Syndrome 4K. I have that coming pretty soon. I'm like, and that had a 4K before Death Wish 1 had a 4K. So those are very strange ones to me that I just never would have expected to come to 4K. But like From Beyond has a 4K. A lot of low-budget horror movies have received upgrades to 4K, while a bunch of classic movies, like some of our favorites, have just never come. Like this year, we're getting a bunch of Warner Brothers classics coming to 4K, which I'm excited about. But yeah, I don't know. Training Day. I don't know why. Like it's weird how they pick and choose. The 4K format has just some really random ones in there.
Yeah, and there was some I would like to give back for others.
I would trade a lot for it.
Yep. Van Wilder. I'm looking at that right now. I have Van Wilder on 4K.
That's a 4K?
I have Van Wilder on 4K.
Okay.
I only picked that up because I didn't have the movie and it was a cheap 4K.
Don't you want it on VHS too?
I do. Actually, I have Van Wilder on VHS, DVD, and 4K.
And it's no Blu-ray, right?
There's probably a Blu-ray.
Okay,
Yeah.
and they're all the same cover. Great movie, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a long time.
And we got a couple dirty questions from Uncle V this week.
All right,
we're excited to dive into this.
Dive in.
All right. So, question number 1 is: What movies are your go-to when you want to watch something romantic with your significant other? With Valentine's Day coming up, I would love some ideas and recommendations. Now, actually, while that question's in there, we have another Valentine's Day question. I think it's the same thing, so I want to make sure I add that. So, Kevin L. also asked, in honor of Valentine's Day, what are some of your favorite romantic comedies? So, we'll dive into romantic comedies and romance movies, and then we'll get back to Uncle V's other question.
Firing from the hip. I don't know what I would consider a romantic comedy, or if that's even a genre of mine.
I don't think you are a rom-com guy. Like, have you ever seen Pretty Woman?
I'll get over you. I know I will. I'll pretend the ship's not sinking.
Because that's my choice. I love Pretty Woman. Not a movie, though, that you would watch with your significant other, because Pretty Woman's about a prostitute played by Julia Roberts.
Oh, okay.
Who gets picked up by, what is his name? Fuck.
Isn't it Richard Gere?
Yes, it is. And so he, like, you know, he shines her up real nice.
Yeah,
he takes her out, like, then they end up falling in love.
Right.
So rom-coms follow that format where it's like, oh, they fall in love, then they break up, and they get back together at the end. It's a very simple thing, and I enjoy a rom-com every now and again. My Best Friend's Wedding is a good one that has a 4K release. Like, Julia Roberts is the queen of it, but the best one is, for me, Pretty Woman, but also When Harry Met Sally.
Would you consider Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
100% that's a rom-com.
So that's my number 1 rom-com.
Yeah, that's 100.
I fucking love Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Actually, that's pretty much all his movies. Who's the writer on all those? Like the 4-Year-Old Virgin. Like those are
4-Year-Old Virgin's good.
That's a rom-com, 100%.
Okay, so I have some rom-coms.
Knocked Up is a rom-com.
Knocked Up, okay,
yeah,
I have
all
that.
the same like team. Like those are all They make rom-coms.
Okay, so those are in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. And honestly, my answer was going to be like, what's a movie I like to watch with my wife around Valentine's Day? We love Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Faith loves Forgetting Sarah Marshall too. It's a great movie. I just went from 6 to midnight.
Oh my god! Take my eyes, but not my shirt.
That was a classic movie.
I fucking love Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Me too. That's a good one.
Russell Brand, Jonah Hill,
Jason Segel.
Yeah.
Kristen Bell. Early Kristen Bell, yeah. Before
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. Like,
fucking stacked cast.
Yeah.
Amazing movie. That's a good summer movie.
100%. It's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? Kila Kuka or something like the fishing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Paul Rudd, right?
Paul Rudd. The weather outside is weather.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You sound like you're from London. Paul Rudd in that movie. One little part, and he's great.
Yeah, I love that movie.
All right, and now into Uncle V's other question. Anytime you were watching a movie and you were strangely aroused and went to reach for the popcorn and went to reach for something other than your popcorn bowl, I guess he's referring to your Johnson.
You remember?
The first one that comes to mind for me is the first, and I always bring this up, is the first American Pie movie.
Really?
Yeah, because at the time, it came out in 1999, pretty young kid at the time. I was finding myself, and I was finding how everything worked, and there's a certain, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, whoever the girl is in that movie. You know who I'm thinking about.
Is it Nausea?
Nausea? Something, I don't know. She's a foreign exchange student. She first shows up in the movie Jack Frost, and then, she's been around ever since then, but gorgeous chick. And, at the time, young John got a little aroused, and I'm finding myself, and that one, that comes.
So the question is, what movies have you jerked off to, basically?
It's pretty much what he's asking, yeah. Obviously, in the modern world, so 1999 was American Pie, so, now it's new.
Yeah, I would say American Pie's up there. old school.
Oh yeah.
When they're in the KY wrestling with
Killed
the tits.
Blue. Killed Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that's really the best you could really done, unless you get into like really dirty movies.
Exactly. I mean, I bet he's asking, I think, about regular movies that like have like some, and you know, like those scenes are only going to get you when you're younger before you, because like now it's like, you know, with the way porn is in the world, you can find whatever the hell you want out
it's
there.
not enough. Like,
and they're catering to everything that anyone is into, because nothing is off the table.
Did you see that episode of South Park with the when the internet goes down?
Oh my god, spooky ghost!
and they have the and Randy's trying to jerk off to porn, but he couldn't find anything. He's got to up it every single time.
Yeah. I love that episode because he's like, when he finally does blow his load, he's all covered in it, and he's like, it's ghost excrement. It's a real spooky ghost in here. He's just sitting there all blown out.
So this is probably up on Uncle V's list. I just picked this up. I Spit on Your Grave. Just picked this up on
Does seem like an Uncle V movie.
Yeah, this was an expensive 4K.
And I didn't know about this, but there's a sequel to that, right? Or a sequel coming or something?
So there was a sequel with the same actor many years later, and then there's a remake trilogy.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
But this is the 4K, new 4K scan of the original camera negative. The Blu-ray in here has a 4K scan of the original camera negative down onto the
1080p Blu-ray?
Yep. And then disc 3 is Growing Up with I Spit on Your Grave, which is a documentary with the actress.
Does it say Uncle V's name under there? Growing Up with...
No, it does not. Growing Up with Uncle V.
Growing Up with Uncle V.
But there is an audio commentary with film critic Joe Bob Briggs.
I've heard the name.
You know who that is?
I've heard the name, but
he does the movie Drive-In or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
I forget but he's always with the male girl.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
I mean, I follow her on Instagram, so I see a lot of her stuff. But the first I saw her was in that In Search of Darkness documentary. She was wearing the Chucky thing with the amazing heaving breast.
Yes, I won't bring up the message you sent to me on Facebook after that.
Oh, she's a porn star.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess we're allowed to talk about that. She's making money. Good for her.
Yeah, you can find her.
I would do it too. I would have an OnlyFans if like anyone would watch.
It made more sense.
Yeah, it made more sense for her.
Because after seeing like all the, I was like, damn, okay. And then I forget exactly how it came about.
I'm guessing that you were looking her up afterwards.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And you discovered her work.
I was like, I got to see these canons, and I came across her work, and not bad.
Yeah, no. Hey, listen, I'm in full support, and again, like you guys can let me know. I'm willing to start an OnlyFans. I just don't think that the audience is out there for that.
I don't think it's there either.
I don't think so, right? There's no albino fetishes.
No. And back to the Valentine. Did they ask Valentine's? Yeah. So we have we have
a video coming out on Tuesday.
But My Bloody Valentine. This is the Scream Factory Steelbook. That's the standard edition. This is probably the best Valentine's Day movie out there.
I think so.
I wouldn't say it's very romantic. And then I have
Weird
Valentine,
romance.
which I'm going to watch soon. I have not seen. It's still sealed. I grabbed it in the Scream Factory sale. I'm excited to check this one out because this looks like... So this came out in 2001, so I'm expecting... not Scream, but, something in that neighborhood. Maybe like I Know What You Did Last Summer type movie here. So I know nothing about it. I'm excited to check that one out.
All right, here's a question that is more for the channel. How do you guys feel about running, in the spot from John Doe Juggalo, and again, thank you guys for that question also, it was a good one. How do you guys feel about running a community watch list? I think it'd be cool to watch along with others.
Now, what is a community watch list?
So I guess we set up like movies that we're going to be watching and that we want everybody else to watch as well.
Gotcha.
And then we all can get together and talk about it. So actually, we're working on doing some live streams. We found out about the site StreamYard, right? So we want to try and eventually get it together where you guys can watch a movie, we can watch a movie, maybe do a watch along, and then I'll have the chat going so we could all talk together. We're working on all these things.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out, but John just has a ridiculous schedule that just won't play nice with any of this stuff.
Yeah, but I do have sick days, and I think the channel's more important than my current job due to the fact I hate my job and I love this channel. But money is a real thing, unfortunately, so I do still need to work full-time. But if I have to move some stuff around so we can do those weekly watch-alongs or make some watch lists, this is something that Joe Juggalo, that's 100% in the works. We did the podcast first, so it's all just building new things as we go. So
It doesn't happen overnight.
yeah, so we have to work that out, but that's 100% a great idea that we are in the plans to do. So 100% can't wait to do it. And tell him Freddie sent you, who's one of our biggest fans.
Freddie!
We love Freddie. All right, guys, and this is a question that breaks my heart, actually. Have you guys seen Belly with DMX and Nas? I just bought the 4K, and what are your thoughts on the film? And the 4K looks amazing, by the way. So, Freddie, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I showed you guys my empty box from Best Buy. In that empty box was supposed to be Belly, which I had never seen before, starring Nas and DMX, which had me intrigued because I love DMX and the Rough Riders.
So do I. Now, also, because I've noticed it's been on sale at Best Buy.
It's cheap.
It is cheap, right?
Like, I might have to just go back. I'm mad at Best Buy, so I don't want to go back and get it because it'll break my pride and the fact that
It's $17.99
for a 4K, and that's not bad. And Freddie says in this comment that it's a good 4K.
Right.
And I believe it. And I wanted to get it. That's why I pre-ordered it. I was going to watch it, review it, but they fucked me over. They forgot to put the 4K in the box and mailed me an empty box. So no, I haven't seen Belly yet. I'm very, very interested in seeing it. I've heard it's good. You know, I'm curious about that. The director, that's the only movie he's directed. And I believe he only directed music videos other than that. A bunch of stars are just musical artists, Nas and DMX. So I'm curious. I would love to check it out. Maybe I will grab it for that price.
What was that other DMX movie I liked with when he's riding the quads?
I don't even know
The
there was.
Raptor. Oh, Cradle to the Grave.
Never seen it.
You never seen Cradle to the Grave?
I literally, when you just said DMX was in another movie, you threw me completely off.
I gotta see if that exists on Blu-ray now.
Oh my god, I've
Gotta own it.
never heard of that movie. I cannot believe that's a real movie.
It's him and Jet Li, I believe.
Jesus Christ, where did you find that movie?
I've seen it a few times.
Only what's
It was a big movie.
Was it? It flew by me. Wasn't Jet Li in a movie? Was Romeo Must Die Jet Li movie also? Was Jet Li in that? I can't.
There's a Cradle to the Grave too.
So it got a sequel.
Wow, the Cradle to the Grave. Oh no! They put the two.
In a double pack?
No. They put the two as Cradle to the Grave. I thought it was Cradle to the Grave too. No, there's just the one. There's only one left in stock on Amazon. $25 for a DVD.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Probably because it's not a great movie.
Probably because it never got a Blu-ray release. That is a shame.
I gotta look up the trailer of this movie.
Here's another movie, Lords of the Street. Man, that might be a documentary. Exit Wounds. That was another good one. That was Steven Seagal and DMX.
How many fucking low-budget horror action movies have you watched?
I've definitely seen Exit Wounds and Cradle to the Grave.
I've never heard of both of them.
You never heard of Exit Wounds?
No. Steven Seagal, if I see his face on the poster, I'd just go. I don't want... Other than Under Siege, I don't like Steven Seagal.
Exit Wounds is 2001, and Cradle to the Grave... This one doesn't say.
This is literally like the total difference between me and you in viewing movies. Like, saw that and you're like, I'm grabbing this. I saw that and I was like, stay away from my house.
No, I am borderline ready to buy this.
That is insane.
But if it was a Blu-ray, I would have got it. The DVD is what's holding me back.
Yeah, I'm sure it's streaming somewhere, right? And you could probably watch it at higher quality than the DVD.
That's a shame. I want to own Cradle to the Grave and Exit Wounds on Blu-ray.
All right. Well, we're down to our final two questions. Both of them are from Kevin L. He asks some simple questions, which I like a lot of the time. You know, simple gets us talking. And he asked in this one, what are your favorite war movies and which ones look the best on 4K? So you're not a war movie guy, right?
Star Wars.
The Star Wars. I wrote a couple of my favorite war movies on 4K, all three of these. And my number one is Apocalypse Now. You bought this, right?
I have that, haven't watched it yet.
This is my favorite war movie of all time. And there's 3 cuts of this in here. And also, again, this always runs cheap. Yeah. I don't know why, because look, it's a 6-disc set, and you see the packaging?
Yeah.
Nice packaging, a little flimsy though. I don't know if you've ever felt it out of the package, because I'm sure yours is still wrapped.
No, mine's not.
So, like, it's very, it feels very light. A little bit more weight to it would have been nice. But you get all 3 cuts of the movie. I think the final cut is the best cut. Don't watch the Redux. I think that's the worst cut of this movie. So I think the final cut is the best cut because it combines the Redux and the original theatrical cut, and I think it comes out perfect. But this is my number one choice for war movie.
Would you consider Transformers a war movie? Because they're at war.
They are, but those you can consider them a war movie. I consider them bad movies.
They're much better than anything in this pile.
One of those movies is Saving Private Ryan, which breaks your Tom Hanks rule.
Yeah, I refuse to watch a Tom Hanks movie. Because I have nothing against Tom Hanks.
It's just because it's my favorite actor.
Well, that's part of it now, but there's never been a Tom Hanks movie that I've been interested in seeing. I saw Toy Story. That's the only one.
Apparently our fans aren't either because we put Big on the rotation.
I saw Lady Killers. Right.
The worst Tom Hanks movie.
I was like, this guy's not that great. So
Two-time Academy Award winner.
And it's his favorite actor, so just out of spite, I will never watch a Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah, and I guess our fans aren't into it because I put Big as one of our choices for half-ass movie reviews, and it got 5% of the vote. Nobody cared about Big, which surprised me because
not a good movie.
Watched that 2 weeks ago and cried. So why not?
Oh, you cried?
I did. I got emotional because
I definitely don't want to watch that.
Because the movie, I got really nostalgic. I grew up with Big, and it was like it reminded me of the fact that now I'm an adult and life used to be good. And Saving Private Ryan, great movie. Should have won Best Picture that year, but unfortunately Harvey Weinstein was doing a little bit of politics, and Shakespeare in Love actually ended up beating this that year because unfairly. And then my last choice for war movies is a recent Kino Lorber. Paths of Glory from Stanley Kubrick. Now, most people would probably pick from Stanley Kubrick. This is a war movie you do like.
Oh, Full Metal Jacket?
Full Metal Jacket. That's the Kubrick movie most people would pick, but I think Paths of Glory, overall, better movie. And Kirk Douglas is great in this. So those would be my picks for war movies.
In this Underworld set, the 5th movie is Blood Wars. So, I like that movie.
None of these are real wars that you're picking. I don't think
war is in the title, so that qualifies.
None of these took place. This is a World War I movie. This is World War II. This is Vietnam. I'm covering all the big wars here.
Oh, Inglourious Bastards.
Oh yeah, World War II. That's a World War II.
Yeah, so I like that movie.
Which Shamrock Balls gave me a great recommendation for a World War II movie called Downfall that I watched, and I loved that movie. It was great.
Was that the Hitler one?
The Hitler one, yeah.
That they used the clip from?
Yeah, I watched the movie finally. Great movie, and he wasn't kidding. The actor who plays Hitler in that, awesome movie, and it really just shows you he's a fucked up guy. So anyway,
I like the Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame. There's a good war in there. Again,
these are very different war movies.
It's a war.
I guess it's a war. By
technicality, it's a war.
Now,
2 wars?
2 wars? That's a great. We never brought that up, but their podcasting episode is great. It's funny because the Always Sunny guys have their own podcast now.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best on the internet.
We're big Always Sunny in Philadelphia guys, so we'll pepper that in. A lot. If you guys don't notice that already. One
of our first running shows we tried to get going that did not take off very well was we were reviewing every episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. We got into season 2 and it had 24 views on it. We're like, I guess we're scrapping that.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll pick that up again, but
you guys would have to want to see it.
You guys seem not to be big fans of Always Sunny, which is a big disappointment in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the best.
Missing out. You are missing out big time.
A lot of good humor there. They are always great. And then our final question, again from Kevin L., and I'm curious to see if you have an answer.
What about Heavyweights? Is that a war movie? The war on fat?
The war on obesity, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess then you got to throw in every movie about the war on drugs, like Colors or something like that.
Training Day.
Training Day. Well, that was more of
what about Scarface? You want to go to war?
I love Scarface.
Yeah. So...
You want to play dirty? Okay. All right, Kevin L. asks our final question of the week.
Okay.
What are some of your favorite documentaries? Now, do you have a favorite documentary?
I would have to say In Search of Darkness, right?
Yeah, I think that's in my top 5. One of the.
I have a lot of documentaries actually. I just watched that one on John DeLorean. That was a fun
good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. That Tom Savini one I just watched recently. In Search of Darkness is probably my favorite.
Just that whole crew. I love it. In Search of Tomorrow.
In Search of the Last Action Hero.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all fantastic. The Jaws 4K has a really cool documentary on it. I actually really super into wrestling documentaries too.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
And actually, funny we should say that because Vinegar Syndrome is releasing a wrestling documentary that
Bret
came out.
Hart.
In the Shadows, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Which is a documentary from 1997 that they just happen to have the cameras rolling around when the Montreal Screwjob happened.
Yeah, and then actually the Scream 4-disc Blu-ray set has a documentary on it as well with a lot of Wes Craven in there. So that's a good one. But actually, wrestling documentaries are pretty up there for me.
They do a great job.
That's one of my favorites, like the Paul Heyman one I just watched recently.
That's a good one. My favorite one, though, from them is still Heartbreak and Triumph, the Shawn
Michaels one. That's a good one.
Because I just remember us watching it. That was the day we painted our Xboxes. We went to Applebee's, got a couple of samplers.
Oh, my God.
It was a good day. Yeah, a good day. A day that'll never happen again.
Or it could.
It could. Maybe we should do it again. We can do it again.
We could do it right now. My
favorite documentary, though, I didn't get to bring it up, and I own it from the Criterion Collection, is The Thin Blue Line. And
what's that?
It's a document. What?
About cops?
It is about cops. So basically what happened is in the 70s, this guy killed a cop. And it was a kid. It was a 16-year-old kid. He stole his neighbor's gun and he shot and killed the cop. And he blamed it on a guy who he just happened to pick up earlier in the night and just take back to his hotel. And they all bought into it. And they railroaded this guy and everything. And this documentary got him off because the guy who did do it actually ended up raping and killing somebody else and getting arrested. And then he just said, fuck it. Yeah, no, I blamed it on him. And like the whole... And there was no evidence against this guy.
Wow.
They just needed somebody to blame because he killed a cop.
Unbelievable.
And this fucking documentary has an amazing soundtrack on it, which
Really?
I love. So, yeah, it's a good one, and you can buy it from the Criterion Collection. It's definitely my favorite documentary ever, but I can recommend it. But like Matt said, WWE really turns out some good documentaries.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun watching them. Matt actually has a really good collection of wrestling documentaries.
Quite a few. I probably have like 20, 25 wrestling DVDs, documentaries over there.
I don't think they release them anymore, though, which is sad because of the...
Physically, right?
Yeah.
Everything's on Peacock and the network and all that shit.
But it used to be fun for me. I used to go to FYE, I'd buy like a new one, and it would come in like, usually the first disc would be the documentary, and then you would have like 2 discs of like their matches.
Matches, yeah.
So if like, like the Triple H one came out, it's like, now I can go back and watch some of his favorite matches. Like one of my favorite Triple H matches is always Triple H versus The Rock. It's SummerSlam 98. That's a good one.
I like the one where he's versus Shawn Michaels in the jeans.
Oh, SummerSlam 02 with the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
Yeah.
That was Shawn Michaels' big comeback match after 4 years of not wrestling.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. In the documentary, you saw how Shawn wanted to only do it with Triple H, right?
Yeah.
Because that's his best friend and he trusted him.
Yep.
Yep. And Triple H told Shawn's mom, I'll take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it was scary. The guy broke his back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fucking...
I love... See, I just wish wrestling was still like that.
It never will be.
No. I can remember the hype package for that. Whatever song was playing in that was so good.
Pull your ass. HBK is dead.
Yeah, it's a POD, right?
Was it POD?
Or was he the Saliva?
Saliva.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. I'm putting the video package
Fuck.
in. I love that. Because I remember I was like, I can't wait to see this match. It was great. But anyway.
Always.
Yeah. I can't live without you.
Yeah.
I love you. I hate you. Yeah. Is that Saliva?
Yeah, yeah.
Early 2000s had some good music. And they just...
It's Always by Saliva.
Okay. All right, perfect. I always think of that. And then Limp Bizkit had the WrestleMania 17 song.
Rolling.
Was it Rolling for that? Okay. Well, they had Undertaker. I don't remember if they had the hype song for that, though. For The Rock vs. Austin at WrestleMania 17. I know it was a Limp Bizkit song, though. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for us this week on Let's Talk Physical Media. If you have any questions for us for next week's episode, you can always leave those in the comment section below or wait till the post on Wednesday and leave them there. Hey, if you want to support us, nothing helps out this channel more than by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, subscribing to us on all podcast services, giving those podcasts a 5-star rating for a couple of 5-star guys. And then, when you finish doing all that, I want you to run out in the streets, no matter what the weather is, scream at the top of your lungs, and tell all your friends about us.